my name is James Thorpe and I'm the Managing Editor of the Security Division at Centurian Media. Delighted to be here today at the security event speaking with Michelle Kradolfer, National Secure by Design Manager. Enjoy. Michelle, great to be speaking with you here at the security event. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Could you just start by introducing yourself a little bit and also just tell us about your role at the business, please?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Michelle Kradolfer. I am the SPD National Manager at Secure by Design, and I'm also the SCD, so Secure Connected Device Accreditation Lead. So anything that has to do with the security of IoT products and apps now, that is my responsibility that I'm taking on under Police API. So, yeah.
Fantastic. And obviously we're here today to specifically talk about SCD, really. Can you just tell our viewers about this fantastic new initiative and I guess what's powered it, really? What's been your ideas behind it and why it's so important?
Yeah, of course. So the Secure Connected Device Accreditation, or SCD in short, it really, we kind of started it in 2022 because there was the new Product Security and Telecommunications Infrastructure Act, the PSTI Act, around creating regulations around consumer IoT products and meeting a minimum security level for these products to reduce the level of crime and cybercrime that was happening with these products. So we wanted to make sure that manufacturers had a way of testing their products to that standard and ensuring that they were compliant with the legislation. And obviously over the years, especially within Secured by Design, a lot of these products have an app attached to it. So that's a natural next step for us that we focused on expanding the scheme to include the app framework within it as well so that it's tested securely as well.
Fantastic. And it sounds like such an obvious talking point in terms of saying safety for apps, but I guess it's something we probably take for granted day to day when we think about the app space in general as consumers, for example. But why is it so important to have that safety built into apps?
That is a great question because it's interesting that we have a regulation in place for the IoT devices, for the smart devices, but apps are part of that ecosystem, but no one's really looking at the security of it. And if you look at a house, it's as if you are implementing a safe door, right? It's been tested to a standard, but then you're not looking at the windows, but windows are an entry to the house as well. So it's the same thing with the IoT ecosystem. And so that's why apps are, it's important that we focus on them because we know there are about 9 million apps that are being created, 4 million that are available on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. But we know that a lot of them do not have security in place. So there was a benchmark analysis done where about 6,500 of the leading apps failed at least one of the security categories of the OWASP standard. And 70% of fraud actually is done via mobile apps. And if you think about it, you're like, how is that possible? But if you think about all the frauds and crimes that are being committed, it's through social media. That's an app where you can have romance scams or phishing links being sent out. So a lot of these things are now being done via the app that I think the public are not really aware of. So that's why it's important that we focus on it and try to reduce that as much as possible.
It's really interesting, especially like you say, when you have how portable these things are, and we carry them around, and it's not thought about sometimes and discussed. So when we look to the future of this scheme and your ambitions for leading it and your general plans and following the trends in the market as well, how do you see this scheme evolving? How do you see some of the threats changing and how are you prepared to tackle that?
So obviously with the scheme, what we're trying to do is get app developers or companies and manufacturers that develop IoT products that come with an app or app that are standalone to meet this internationally recognized standard, which is the OWASP, get it approved by one of our SPD certification bodies that we work with, and then ensure that they meet the standard and then a future regulation that might be coming in place. So we're trying to drive that conversation with different stakeholders to say, hey, you need to look at this. You might need to look at creating a regulation. And until we can hopefully achieve that, what our work that we're doing is we're trying to encourage at least the industry to already be leading that and being ahead of it so that at one point we can achieve that, but at the same time, we're still protecting the general public that are using these apps every single day because cybercrime, the most important thing in it is crime prevention. It is so hard to deal with the after fact of it, so that's why it's important that we think about the preventative measures and how to keep people, and especially women and girls that are using personal safety apps or VOG-related apps, right? Because violence against women and girls is a national crisis here, so it's one of the things that has also helped us drive the scheme and make sure that at least people like that or anyone that's using apps can be safe both online and offline.
Fantastic. And just as a final note, obviously we're catching up here at the security event.
Yeah.
I know it's a really important show for you guys, but also with that as well, an opportunity to drive the conversation like you just said then. How valuable is this event for you?
This is probably one of the most important events that we have in our calendar year, really. We're here every single year, and we have a lot of our own SPD members that are here with their SCD accredited products as well, but we have a lot of different companies from various industries that have sort of the cyber component in it. So it's really great for us to be able to raise that awareness with them, but also the public and the wider professional community that are coming to learn about it more, so that in the different areas they can then implement what we're trying to do, and hopefully we can find sort of a unified way to try and tackle this as well. So this is a very important show for us every year, and we love coming here every time. So yeah.
Michelle, absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank
Cheers.
you.